Mia,
What?
just look in there and say hi. Where did Sissy go? Up.
It.
Bring him up. Bring Raider up there so everybody can see him. This is Raider, the nightmare cat.
He's not a nightmare.
And there's Natalie, the nightmare daughter.
Okay, I'm ready.
So, with me today is Natalie, my 22-year-old daughter, and my
That's
ex-wife, Alicia. Wave, Alicia. There we go. Right on. And that's Lulu that just walked behind me here, a house cat. So the reason that I wanted to have this little Zoom chat was because, you know, in our addiction, practicing addiction, you know, we create a lot of wreckage. And when we come into treatment, quite often, it's really done quite a lot of damage to the family. And sometimes it feels like that damage is unfixable, and it can feel overwhelming. And I wanted to bring my daughter and my ex-wife on here because we have a really cool situation. You know, I feel that for two reasons, things are pretty cool today. One is, I think, you know, me personally doing recovery one day at a time and giving it 110%, but maybe even more important, you know, I got to honestly say this would be the grace and forgiveness that my family has shown me in this 5-year journey, because I did create a lot of chaos out there, and they were definitely caught in the crossfire of my insanity and my addiction. But, you know, it is kind of a miracle what can happen once you get clean and sober and you try to turn your life around. One of our books says that we've seen the most impossible domestic situations righted. And I felt it was impossible. And early on in my recovery, I felt so much shame and remorse and guilt for the damage I'd caused. It did lead to the end of a marriage, you know, with Alicia. But the miracle is, you know, we get along pretty good today. You might even call us friends today. So it's pretty cool. You know, things didn't quite turn out the way I wanted. Certainly I wanted the marriage to have one more chance, but, you know, Alicia gave me so many chances, and for whatever reason, you know, it takes what it takes. And this last time, it was too little, too late as far as saving the marriage. But the gift is that now, you know, the three of us and my other two kids, Sammy and Mia, you know, we have a great relationship today, and that's a gift. So I just wanted to talk to you guys, you know, just want to ask you some questions about what the journey's been like for you. I know that it was kind of chaos out there for you when I was out there running and gunning, and maybe you guys can describe that and how you feel about the way things have changed over time. So, Nat, I'm gonna put you on the spot. So, yeah, like, what was that experience like for you? And when I went in one more time for the millionth time into treatment, was there any hope? You know, what did it look like out there? And talk about that.
It was really sad just because it felt like I was always going to be second to an object, like a thing, and not like I'm a person, like I'm more valuable than a thing. And so it was hard, like having to deal with that, especially because I have a biological father that doesn't really care about me. So it was really hard having like my stepfather, who I really depended on, becoming very like undependable in my eyes. So that was really hard. Yeah, and then like every time, you know, he wouldn't be home, it would just be like panic, because I just knew where he was. If he came home and he acted funny, it was just really sad. It was really hard.
Okay. So when things did start to change this last time, 5 years ago, was it difficult believing that things were going to turn around? I mean, you and Mom came up that one time to treatment, and we did the family thing, and you know, one more time, I'm sure you guys had a little bit of hope that maybe this would do it. And one more time, Dad's trying to get clean and sober. And you know, the thing which was powerful, I mean, in a really hard way for me, was that last time when we'd have our family session and seeing that you guys weren't up there. And I kind of knew already that things were going to change and the marriage probably wasn't going to last. And it was hard not having you guys up there, and it was all my doing, of course. So yeah, there was another time after that family time that you guys came up that I was back in treatment. Did you think it was going to work this time, or did you have a lot of doubt? Where were you at the beginning?
I don't mean this in a bad way. We were all terrified. Like, we were so nervous. It was like scary. We had been, like, it had been so like calm for so long, and then you were coming back, and like nobody knew if you were going to be good. I mean, it hadn't worked for so many times before, so
I
we
knew
were
he
all
wouldn't.
really nervous. Huh?
I knew he wouldn't.
You knew?
Go ahead, finish.
So we were, I mean, like, me and Mia and Sammy. I mean, Sammy didn't really know, but we were just kind of nervous about you coming back, and like we didn't know if it was going to be like the time that stuck. But then obviously, like, when you first came back, it was kind of strained, it was kind of awkward, took a while, but eventually, like, you just kind of proved, that it was sticking. And then you got that job, and it felt really like good to see you having something stable, and then in return, like, us having something stable. So that was I do remember that. I haven't thought about that in so long, but yeah, I remember that.
So how about now?
I mean, now I feel like we have a great relationship. I don't worry about you. I mean, I think not like PTSD, but sometimes when I'm in Camarillo visiting and you're not home at your usual time, I like think, I just instinctively, like, I can't help it. I'm like, is he? No, he's not. You know what I mean? Like, I trust you completely, and I know that you wouldn't do it, and I know that it's different, and you've really committed this time, and you committed like your whole life, which is what, like, you've needed to do. But I think I'll always kind of hold on to that experience, and not in like a bad way, but in like a learning way. And I mean, like, I know what to look out for in my personal life with people I'm friends with or I'm dating or anything like that. And yeah, I think I'll just always hold on to those experiences, whether I want to or not.
Right. All right, thanks, kid. What about you, Alicia? Kind of same idea, same questions. What was it like then, and how have things changed in your opinion?
What was it like then? Well, let's see. Lots of drama, chaos, worrying about, whenever I would text you and you didn't text me back, or call and you didn't call me back. I knew that you were doing things you shouldn't do. And yeah, it was tough. I mean, going to rehab and then being okay for a couple weeks and then doing the same thing. That was the 15 years being married to you. And the whole time, well, and at first when the kids were young, especially Natalie, I kept it, I never didn't tell her anything until she saw how you were different. She's, she came to you when she's like, Dad's not acting, he's acting funny. He's like, what's going on? And she was at the age where, I had to tell her. It's like, this is what, and I told her this has been going on for so many years, and she couldn't believe it. And, and then she was aware of it. So she always looked out for it. And maybe I shouldn't have told her, but, she was getting to that age where she knew, and when you're with someone all the time, every day, when something's different, and she finally got to the age where she was like, wow, Dad, something's off. Like, he's not being himself. So that, that hurt me, because now she's involved and it's going to affect her. And then, eventually when, Mia and you and I got into that little fight one time, and she saw it and she's crying, and it was just awful. It was horrible. But I mean, if I compare everything that happened, horrible. But if it had to go the way it did to where you are now, to make where you are now happen, like, you are so different. And honestly, I'm going to be honest with you, I never ever thought in a million years that you would be where you are now.
Right.
I was signing off on you. I was like, you know what? He's never going to get better. I'd never seen anyone this horrible with just destructive behavior, didn't care, didn't even want to try. Fake try, I guess you could say. But now it's like, why didn't you do this when we were married? From what I saw, you were stuck. You were stuck in this horrible wheel of insanity like your whole life. You, since you were old enough to, like, I don't know, how old are you, like 10? You've been on this wheel forever. And it's like, and I mean, and now I see you and it's like, I've never met this Eric before. This is a whole new Eric for me, because I've known you for like 20, almost 20, over 20 years now, and I've never seen you like this before.
Right.
Completely different person.
So as we're talking, one of the things that I'm really like, that is important to me is that I don't want our conversation to seem like this is about Eric and how great he's doing. And it makes me, you guys are perfect. What you're sharing is right on the money. But what I want, hopefully, our clients to hear is that there's hope for them as well. You know, that you can take someone, and I used to call myself all the time, and effing lost cause, because I did go in and out of treatment, in and out of jail, in and out of just complete chaos, you know. And yet today, you know, one day at a time, because this doesn't mean that I'm immune from getting loaded again. I mean, it's all about doing the work daily, committing just as much as I did to my drinking and using to a program and a life of recovery and sobriety. And I mean, you guys see me on the Zoom meetings all the time. I mean, you know, this is my commitment. But I believe that if you do the work, that this stuff can change. And so, I don't know, this might sound a little corny, but do you have even like a little, like, I don't know, a word of hope that you could offer our clients, you guys, to even, you know, if it feels like the family situation is horrible for them maybe at the moment. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, I don't know. But if they feel like there's things they're not going to be able to fix or to repair or heal, that maybe if it can work for me, it can work for them. And anything like that you guys could share, either of you guys?
Well, I think that, and this is probably horrible to say too, but, and this is so cliche, but if Eric can do it, anybody can do it. But it is going to be hard work. I mean, this is something you're going to have to do every day. And I've seen you do it. Even when you were fake trying, you were trying. But now I see you and you're like, it's going to be a daily thing. You know, you're just going to have to make it a habit of every day doing what you need to do to stay sober. But you can do it. Eric is, I mean, I thought you were a lost cause too. And I wanted out. I was like, I'm done. I can't, there's nothing I can do. But now I see you and it's like, I would have never thought in a million years you would ever get to this point, ever. So, and I think that, I know there's probably a lot of people that have family members that are upset with them, or they're trying to get back to, you know, their families back together. But I think right now, focus on yourself and focus on your daily sobriety, everything that you need to do to keep yourself sober. And I think everything else will fall into place. Your family, you need to show them. I mean, you show yourself, but as you're showing yourself that you can do it, your family's going to see it too. And I think that's important. Yourself is more important right now.
And the reason I bring this up is I think when family members, when the clients go home quite often and they're doing better, I think there's maybe this assumption that the family members are going to kind of automatically embrace them and everything's going to be cool. But it really takes the idea of that living amends, you know, for the individual with the addiction, day in and day out, kind of no more sorries. I mean, I said sorry to you guys so many times,
Yeah.
right?
We were tired of hearing that.
The flowers from the grocery store. I think you have a phobia of flowers from here on.
Yes.
You know, all those empty promises, and it is important to do those living amends. And so, can you touch on that even, you guys, that like it's the day in, day out living it that really can maybe for these clients and their families maybe build up some of that trust again?
Well, that's what I was saying. You know, once they see your clients doing their best and working on it, because, you know, and right now they don't trust them. you know, their families are not trusting them, which I understand that. But as time goes on and they see that they're working on it and they're diligent and they're, you know, they're really trying hard, that trust's going to come back. So, and I know that it's going to take time and hard work, but completely possible.
Right on. Any other thoughts, Nat, before we wrap it up, kid?
I agree. I think it all comes down to effort. You need to show up for yourself and for others. I think the reason they don't trust you and they're so hurt and they're having, I mean, because I had so many bitter feelings towards my dad when when all of it was happening. But it's because they love you so much, and it's the people who you love the most. I mean, when they betray you like that, I mean, it's the ultimate betrayal. It's painful. It hurts so bad. But putting in that effort every day, and when they see that from you, I mean, that's the only way you can really say sorry. It's actions, not words at that point, you know? So that's how I say it.
And do it for yourself, and everything else is it's gonna work out. You put yourself first, your sobriety first, everything is gonna work out. Just like Eric did.
Mhm.
The lost cause, which isn't lost anymore.
Thank you, you guys. I appreciate you taking the time. And hopefully this helps
You're
the
welcome.
class a little bit, just to have a little bit of hope, you know, that this is a family dynamic that's kind of changed radically, you know. Like I said, part of it's because of recovery, but also it's because of just like I said, the grace and forgiveness that they've shown. I mean, it wouldn't have been possible without it. So I certainly don't, any way you look at it, I take none of the credit, zero. You know, I attribute it to the program and this blueprint for living that I've just been trying to follow day in and day out. But also, you know, just thank God that, you know, I get along with my ex today, you know, and
Yep.
kind of get along with Natalie just a little bit.
Just a little.
It's a blessing, man, total blessing. So thank you guys, appreciate it. And we are
Welcome.
done.
Okay.
Peace.
Bye, Mom.
Peace. Bye. Love you.
Love you too.
Not you, Eric. Her.
I figured as much.
Rude. God.
Bye-bye.
Bye.